morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the stream. I'm usually joined by my co-host and buddy, Willie. I'm not too sure if he's recovered from his 12-hour streamathon, so we're going to check in and see how Will's doing before we start the show. Will, are you there? Oh, well, Will either died or fell asleep, but I think he's still here. Will, is that you or is that Donkey Kong?
Oh, where am I?
You forgot to turn your arcades on.
Oh, God. What year is it?
2024.
We're still here?
Yes, we are.
How's it going?
See you, buddy. How did it go? You had a successful streamathon.
Yeah, it was good. It was a long night. Just a bunch of games, playing with friends and stuff. It was good. It was a fun night.
And what was the inspiration in dressing as Donkey Kong?
It's just what the community wanted. Basically, they wanted a sub goal, so they reached 100 subs on the channel. And then I did a 12-hour stream dressed as Donkey Kong as they requested. Yeah,
wow.
Good time.
Fantastic. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I apologize. I'm really, really sick. You have to deal with my nasally voice. That's Canada weather for you. One day it's warm, the next day sick. Oh, excuse me. But happy Easter to all of you.
Happy Easter. Did you guys find all the eggs today?
What? What?
Isn't that what people do on Easter? You Easter hunt eggs, things?
Eggs? The hell are you talking about?
I don't know. Yes. Bunnies poop eggs at Easter, apparently. It's the only time of the year they do it. It's a magical hour.
It's gross. Other times, they don't smell so good, and you don't eat them. Christoph is here. JT, Cutthroat, Matt Rubin. Tommy is here. Dargoon. It's Chad, Severus, Dale, Denim Geek. Good to see you guys. Thanks for hanging out with Nasally J. And
morning, friends.
And Donkey Will. Will Kong? I don't know.
Dead Willie.
We are at EGM 14. Yay. We're both dead. I'm sorry.
It may be a little bit of a shorter stream today because I told Jay not to push himself because he does sound pretty bad.
Yeah, pretty rough, but pushing through it for you guys. For Willie, let's get to it. The cover. Ooh.
Great.
Buddy. Mega Man 3.
I remember being so excited for this after playing Mega Man 2.
Yeah. This was the first video game I ever bought with my own money from a job. I was a dishwasher, and it was literally my whole check. It was like $80 was my whole check for like 2 weeks. And I went to CompuCenter in Masonville Mall here, and I bought Mega Man 3. I was so friggin' proud.
Oh, I forgot about CompuCenter. Man, that place used to be cool in the mall.
Yeah, that was the only place I knew that sold the TurboGrafx CD, the giant box. Woo! All right, let's crack this out. This one's a little worse for wear. Look at the condition of this one. You guys can follow along with us at Retro Mags. That's the site we use for the PDF file here. Make sure you check them out. They got just great historical gaming content. Clacks. All right, in this issue, we're going to get into some turbo stuff. Looks like Legendary Axe 2. Bonk's Adventure? Oh, wait, what is this? Yeah, I think that's Legendary Axe 2. Oh, man. Dragon Spirit. Hang on. So it's very difficult to talk. So,
that's what I said.
Maybe I'm just gonna say I know Will's tired, but maybe Will's gonna do some of the heavy lifting on this episode.
Like usual.
So if you want to maybe bust into some of Steve's editorial, and then we'll get on to the reviews.
Let's see. Let's just start from the beginning, I guess. If you look at different gaming mags that currently populate the newsstands, there are two distinct types of publications. The first caters to manufacturers of games and hardware, gushing up glowing reviews of anything and everything that makes it to the system slots. They forsake journalistic integrity and honest opinions. Wow. Steve out here just calling out.
That cuts deep.
If they had an opinion at all in favor of the bottom line, which in this case of publications happens to be ads.
We were talking about that. I wonder if they got crap
Maybe
from other companies that lost ad revenue.
The second variety of video game magazine is such a different animal, one consisting of critical, editorial, honest appraisals of new games and the latest information on the hobby. This type of game magazines exists solely to serve the readers, feature stories and columns that address every aspect of the industry, from how the games are made to how they are played. Fortunately, EGM resides within the second group of magazines. Dun dun dun.
Matt says Steve won't be mentioning any names like Game Pro.
Frickin' Game Pro.
Yeah, Game Pro had the worst covers. They were original art, which was great, but they were loosely based off of whatever game they were covering, so it was never any kind of licensed picture. I don't know, maybe that's good. I didn't like it.
Mm-hmm.
So Game Pro getting called out along with others.
Yeah, it seems like the rest of it is pretty much just him saying that EGM's better than everyone because we're here for the readers and not just to our corporate overlords.
We don't care if we get ad revenue cut at all.
Yeah.
Hey, Zazel, happy Easter, buddy. How you doing? Oh, boy. Hang on. You can start with one. Hang on.
Oh, God. I was going to do that first one, but I don't want to read that reply. Holy fuck. All these replies are super long. Oh, my God.
It's the advanced version.
Point me to Japan. I saw your answer to a question about Afterburner 2 for the Genesis in issue number 10, and you mentioned that it was released for the Mega Drive Japanese Genesis in Japan in the month of April. So I was wondering if Afterburner will be released here in the US and when and where I will be able to buy it. Is there a place I can purchase a Japanese version from, and is it different from the American version? Ramon Ramos. Ramon Ramos.
Ramos. And then we got Joshua, the same thing. I just got Thunder Force 2 for the Genesis. And boy, is it an intense game. I love the horizontal fighting, but the vertical scrolling got very repetitive and downright boring. I also read in your magazine that Thunder Force 3 is coming out soon. I'm very excited about this game and was wondering if there's any way I can pre-order it before it hits the stands. What is this pre-order? There's no such thing in 1990.
It has begun. Let's see. I'll read the editor's thing. Stuff.
The thing. Yeah.
The thing.
The reply.
Nevery? Well, I failed. I'm out. See ya. Nearly every game you see originates from Japan, where the majority of the programming and development work is done. Also, even though most gamers eventually do appear in on these shores, they appear in Japan months before what? They appear in Japan months before they do here.
Months before they do here, yeah. They appear in Japan months before they appear.
Oh,
here.
There should be like a comma, like Japan months before they do. Okay,
yeah.
Anyways, it just reads weird when you read it straight. As far as a difference goes, most games except the complicated RPGs that are loaded with volumes of Japanese text translate to the American market with very few changes, especially the two aforementioned carts. If you're interested in obtaining more information about Japanese games, there are several direct mail dealers, Then he goes to name off like actual places they can connect to.
There was a place in Michigan, which is 2 hours away from us, called Die Hard Video Games. They used to sell imports. Um, I was
Really?
lucky enough to get my Japanese Saturn from those guys.
Huh.
Uh, but yeah, I miss the days when, I mean, the stuff was hard to get, but I miss the days when stuff would come out in Japan first, and then it would come out here. I don't know why, because we got it later. So it's actually better now. But it was cooler because the Japanese systems would also be different looking most of the time. It
Yeah.
would be a different color, or yeah, like Zazel says, the Genesis was the Mega Drive, and it didn't have the red, I don't think, around the top. But there
Mhm.
would just be those little differences. I guess just from a collecting standpoint, it was a lot more fun.
Kind of like the look without the red, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a little better. 32-bit Genesis. Hey, we just started this generation, Aaron. So just chill out.
Yeah. Can we get through this first? Jeez.
I have heard rumors of a 32-bit Sega Genesis, which has been released in Japan, and that Sega is going to release one in the US in a couple of years. I also heard, can you believe, like, years? There would be a system out for 2 years before it came here. I don't know if that's a little bit too big of a gap. Anyway,
A
I've
little bit.
also heard that there will be an adapter to boost the Sega Genesis up to 32-bit power. Can you fill me in on these rumors? That this Aaron guy was ahead of his time, because what was 32X, like 94?
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
94, 95? As far as we know, the rumors are exactly that. Rumors.
Dust in the wind. Uh, getting to the point. Okay, I want to get to the point about third-party licenses for the Genesis. Is Fabtech, Capcom, Konami, Taito, Romstar, and Atari involved with the Sega Genesis third-party groups? I really want to know because I want Toki and Dynamite Duke by Fabtech, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Aliens, and Crime Fighters by Konami, Thunderbolt and Night Striker by Taito, and The Ninja Warriors by Romstar. And Hydra by Atari, available on the Sega Genesis. I like how he mentioned Capcom, but didn't mention a title by Capcom. Thanks, Tristan. You son of a...
Tristan, this was before Legends of the Fall. Anyway.
Getting to the point is an understatement, Christian. Tristan?
Tristan.
Okay, there we go.
Christian. What are you going to see from?
Somebody messaged me earlier today. Their name was Christian.
Sure, Will. Wink, wink.
Yeah. Christian CA Yard 25. There you go. Fun fact. Little plug for Christian if they're watching.
There you go.
Oh, man. I feel like I'm catching your bug from way over here.
Good.
Anyway, out of all of the companies you mentioned, only one is an official Sega Genesis licensee, and that's Atari Games.
Yippee.
Unfortunately, they don't have any plans to convert Hydra to the Sega 16-bit format at any time, although the chances of this happening in the future are possible. Several of the other games you mentioned, however, will appear while others won't. Okay. Toki is rumored to be heading for the Nintendo 8-bit, but Fabtech's Dynamite Duke will appear in the Genesis later this year wearing the Sega label. All Konami titles are being developed on the 8-bit and 16-bit Nintendo, although there are rumors that indicate that Konami may be developing on other formats.
Oh.
Taito has released several Genesis games in Japan, and none are set to appear here. Among them is The Ninja Warriors, which was originally developed by Taito and was licensed to Romstar for use in the arcades. Lastly, even though they didn't mention it, Final Fight, the Capcom mega hit in the arcades, is almost finished for the Super Famicom and not planned for the Genesis.
Good job, buddy. Good heavy lifting. That was a lot of information in that letter. So good for you, Tristan.
Yeah, take that, Tristan.
Tristan. Okay. Tommy says, "Do you think they will ever create a console that will suck the fins in like the NES?" Well, I think there's been consoles equal to that for
Yeah.
sure. The PlayStation 1, the Nintendo 64.
There's been lots of generations, right?
Yeah, when Nintendo came out, like the video game industry was dead, right? So unless that happens again, and then you have something that revives it, that's one reason the NES is so special because Nintendo single-handedly brought the industry back. And in North America, people hated video games so much they had to market it as a toy. They partnered with Mattel, made that stupid Rob the Robot, the light gun, and all that jazz, right, to kind of disguise it as an entertainment system. But I don't know. Many people are talking about an inevitable video game crash coming in the next few years, but I don't see it happening unless something like that happens. Well, to answer your question, I think there's been many game consoles that have been equal.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Like, my favorite console would probably be the PlayStation 1.
That's a good question. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, let's put it to the chat. Like, what's everyone's, like, what is your go-to console? What is your favorite one?
You do the if you could only play one, if you had to choose one console with its entire library,
And you never got to play anything else ever again?
yeah, that's it.
Yeah, PS1.
What would you pick? Yeah, 64. Pretty sure I would do 64. Overall, Tommy says no. I mean, where you played at night and day after school till bed, Friday night with your friends coming over. Wow. No, because multiplayer now is online. It's been online for decades. Like it or not, it's the way it is. But that also has to do with how old we are. Tommy, I'm not too sure how old you are. Will's a little bit younger than me, but he's certainly experienced that as well quite a bit. So our generations got to do the couch co-op, which I think peaked at 64. Although there was stuff on PS2 and Xbox. Oh, actually, Halo was pretty big.
No, yeah, I'd say like
Couch
Xbox
co-op,
brought
yeah.
it back with like Halo, but then as soon as like Xbox Live launched on the original Xbox, that was kind of it. Like it was like, well, why would I go to your house when I could just play at home and we just play online?
So Cutthroat says Neo Geo. Really? Out of every console, you'd pick Neo Geo. That's fair.
Cutthroat does love that Neo Geo.
Dargoon says NES. Can't go wrong with that. Matt says PS1, and Dale says Genesis.
Matt, a man after my own heart. That's right. All those RPGs on there, man. You'd be playing forever on a PS1. There's so many good games on the PlayStation 1.
Yeah. Tommy says, yeah. Couch co-op, having friends coming over and playing all night. 64. 64 for me and my group. GoldenEye, Mario Kart, Star Fox. We even got into the weird stuff like Duke Nukem. Anything that was 4-player, Mario Party. We played. We just had a blast.
And then like the 360 came out and we started doing that again too, remember? Like we would come over to play on 360, even with the online stuff. Like outside of Rock Band, we'd come over and we'd like play like fighting games or Halo again. Yeah.
We were really into Street Fighter 4.
Street Fighter. So good. I fell off of Street Fighter 6 and I kind of wish I would get back into it, but it's like when you fall off and you try to get back on and like get competing again, you're falling to the wayside. You're done.
And I gotta say, dude, that's the biggest mistake. I should have never bought it because unless you have it depends on what you want to get out of it. I want to get I like getting really good at one or two characters. So unless you put in the practice and time and you go back online, if you miss a few weeks, remember we missed a few weeks in Street Fighter 4. And then rank just goes whirl.
And you're just like, and then you come back in and you're just getting decimated because you don't have that muscle memory from playing all the time. And you're like, I can't be bothered. I play too many other things.
There's too much, right? Dale says, with my modded Genesis cartridge, I have a lot of RPGs and definitely a lot of great titles with 100 games on it.
Genesis is a good... I missed a lot of the Genesis stuff, and I want to go back and like play a lot of that.
Yeah, I mean, there's some good stuff. Dargoon says, I agree that PS1 was revolutionary in 95 and the game library was very good.
It was.
My friends wouldn't let me play Mario Party or Texas Hold'em after the first few times I played.
Why
Oh,
is
did you
that,
rage?
man?
Did you rage?
Angry Matt.
Dude, listen. People talk about Mario Kart ending friendships. Mario Party is just as bad.
Oh,
Those
yeah.
little mini games. Oh, remember you're standing on the ball, you had to knock them off the edges? Yeah. Nintendo versus Sega round 2. Again, I apologize, guys. I'm sick. I'm doing my best here. After reading your issue number 12, I was sent into a minor state of shock. Seeing the article on the Nintendo 16-bit, I was quite upset to find that the machine will be released much sooner than planned. The reason I'm upset is that with Sega, the reason I'm upset is that with Sega finally getting its feet back on the ground, it's going to have to face off against Nintendo again. That's business, buddy. Tough. It's tough, isn't it?
It's weird that people don't want like competition. Even today, you have people that don't want like they want one deciding unit.
But it's just like they're so loyal to whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like I don't get it. We've talked about brand loyalty. I don't get it. You can have a favorite, but I don't know, man. It's just because I think you and I have we've always liked everything for video games, right? So I don't get it. What's the SFX? And since the SFX appeared to
Sound effects?
Oh yeah, okay.
Isn't that generally what that means?
Oh yeah, the sound effects appear to be quite a bit superior to the Genesis, and the fact that Nintendo has a much larger following could spell trouble for Sega. Will Sega offer any upgrades to be more competitive to Nintendo? And what happened to the Telegenesis modem peripheral?
You gonna be right?
This guy's terrified. It's only 1990 right now, and this guy's terrified. You ain't seen nothing yet.
Some things don't change.
Wow. Steve says, while it might initially appear that Nintendo is trying to squeeze into Sega's territory again, you must remember that Nintendo's 16-bitter was announced at the same time. The Mega Drive was in Japan around the latter part of 1988. Nintendo was undoubtedly employed even newer technology into their Mega Machine. But let's not also forget that Sega has quite a healthy head start. With a system that is quite superior to anything right now on the market, it has only allowed Sega to get a firm foothold on the 16-bit market, but also has enabled them to successfully court a wide variety of third-party licenses that will ensure longevity no matter what the competition offers up. The last thing to remember is that healthy competition will push both companies to increase the quality of their games and the capabilities of the systems. In the end, that is what's most important. And in the end, we win.
Yeah.
So, Eric, don't you worry, buddy. Genesis is going to be just fine until 95. Anyway, a couple more.
We're good. Well done. Well, wait.
You all right? You good? Or?
Well, I find it's a little hard to read on this other screen, so I was gonna pull up the actual link to the magazine, but now it's not working. So
okay, I'll let you fiddle with that. I'll go on to the next one.
yeah.
What happened to Sega 8-bit? Out of all of the gaming magazines I read, yours is the best. But I'm outraged at the poor coverage that the Sega Master System has been receiving in the pages recently. I own a Nintendo Genesis and the power converter, and I find that the Master System has some of the best games around. It seems like big names like Nintendo are pumping out titles. What? Oh, out of Little Merit, while the Master System has a library of quality games. Beef it up, will you? Listen, Pat, let me tell you something. That's not true. Master System's got good stuff, but their shining titles came out around the time the Genesis came out. And unfortunately, no one really cared. Not here. Europe's a different story. Pat, we hear where you're coming from. Please understand, however, that we can only cover what is actually developed. And until just recently, Sega had absolutely nothing to offer because nothing was being made for the Master System. With the advent of the Master System 2 and new titles like Strider and Ghouls and Ghosts coming to the 8-bit, you can expect more from the Master System coverage. Okay. Did you figure it out?
Ah, I did it.
You got it. All right. Yeah, I don't know why you didn't think of that earlier. That's a pretty good idea.
Listen.
So now you don't have to squint. Like.
Yeah, and I was like, the resolution changed. YouTube, why? All right, which one did we just read? I was focused on the other one.
I just we're on What Happened to Sega 8-Bit by Pat. I read that one.
Okay, got it. Be on the lookout. My compliments to your truly wicked Meg. You surpass all the others with the enormous amounts of excellent information you dudes put into each issue. I especially like you, Quarterman.
Yeah.
He is the most bodacious, most cool, most radical, most wicked, excellent dude on the face of the earth. His column is unreal. Just who is he really, though? Tell us. Your public wants to know.
Ooh, Christopher. Never know that.
Oh, that's another one for Quarterman directly. Hey, Quarterman! That was some season finale on Star Trek: The Next Generation. You wanted Borgs, and you most certainly got them. It could easily translate into a game. What do you think? Working title: The Search for Locutus? 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 Yeah, that one.
That's Picard when he turns all Borgy.
I guess we can kiss Picard goodbye, unless, of course, Q shows up to save the day. Dun, dun, dun.
Good morning, BX. How you doing, buddy? Happy Easter. All right, Pat. That's pretty good. Oh, wait, that's not Pat. That's Christopher.
Yeah, we got Christopher and we got Jeff.
Yeah.
I'm almost going to finish it up, I guess. Quarterman bows his head to you in recognition of the many humble descriptions you provided. As for the game's guru's real identity, you will get no help. The mystery man has enough super bosses to defeat without anyone knowing his name. For more info on Star Trek and other cool news, Jeff, turn to page 76 for a new column inspired by Mr. Q.
Do you know another EGM reviewer that goes by a code name that has not shown up yet? He hasn't been hired yet, but you remember he was one of our favorites. Do you remember who it is?
Is it Sushi X?
Yes. Give this man $1.
I had to go back way back.
Yeah, well, he's around in the 90s, so he'll be around.
Low cute tuss. Yeah, that one.
Severus says, which was worse, brand loyalty on console-specific titles? Brand loyalty or console-specific titles? I hate having to own multi-consoles to play titles I enjoy. At some point, a title should be available on all systems after exclusive time.
I think we talked about this a couple weeks back, Severus, but yeah, I'm in agreement. I don't think exclusivity is a thing that we need anymore in today's market. But
it's all business. But Sushi X was in the last 2 issues. Really?
What?
Did we miss that? It's quite possible we missed that.
We are a little dumb at times. Most of the time.
Well, we're just reading the 2 reviewers. We can read all 4. Maybe we should read all 4. I don't know.
Maybe we'll throw in Sushi if we see Sushi down there.
Yeah. I'm surprised no one called us out on that. You ever played Total Recall?
No, I've watched the Angry Video Game Nerd episode on it, but I never played it.
Total Recall by Acclaim. So let's see what Steve. Oh, there you go, Sushi X. Dude, that's crazy. Thanks, Matt, for letting us know. Okay, well, we gotta read. Will, do you want to be? You can be Sushi X. I'll be Martin.
All right, we'll change it up this week.
Well, let's do all four for the big games.
All
Let's do
right. Is
all four.
Total Recall a big game?
Well, since Arnie's there, maybe. So what's Steve's been up to a little bit. He's our editor. Our editor's time has been split between the NES games Shadow of the Ninja, great game, and Shadow Dancer, great game. Make sure you check out his awesome new column, Screenplay. Ed.
Ed is completely unbearable. Yeah.
Unbearable.
Ed is completely unbearable. What? Why would he call himself unbearable? All we hear about is in his hands-on experience with the Super Famicom. Oh, I see. We tolerated him through though because he did bring back a Game Gear. Wow.
Martin. Well, through our own ignorance, we don't know anything about Martin. So here we go. Martin, having blown through Mega Drive Batman and Rastan 2, Martin has settled down with the 8 megabyte game Strider. We guess I guess it's a rad game as he hasn't been out of his office in a week.
Oh, Martin might be a man after your own heart there.
Yeah.
Found a new
Sushi.
connection. Our globe-trotting jet-setter, Sushi X, has finally been found. We photographed him in Tokyo, page 38, where he was teaching the Japanese game players new arcade tricks.
Total Recall, loosely based off the film by some unknown actor. Steve gives it a 3. NES video games just hit a new low. Ooh, Jesus. Total Recall is a total bore and has substandard graphics and none of the action found in the movie. The whole thing comes off like a bad dream with hardly any fun to be found. And in fact, this review is so bad, he didn't even use up all his space. 3 from Steve.
That bad, eh?
Yeah.
Ed, combine a mega hit movie with one of the best Nintendo software companies around, and one would expect a great NES game. Wrong. Total Recall has substandard graphics, fair gameplay, and is just not what one would expect from Acclaim. A big disappointment. Not up to standards.
Wow. Martin, 3. What happened? What happened, Acclaim? Did somebody reprogram Rambo and digitize Arnie's face in a couple of scenes? The movie was cool, but the game is a horrible adaptation. There is little animation in most of the characters, and it has 2,600 sound effects. Claim should recall this one. Martin didn't like it either. Oh, Sushi. Oof, jeez.
2 from Sushi X. In the movie of the same name, Arnold's character's memory was erased. This game, based on the movie, should also have its memory erased. Total reject.
Sick
All right,
burn.
Sushi. I like
Sick
you, Sushi.
burn.
I like it.
Did the famous alien from Total Recall make the game? If you know, you know. Oh, the 3-armed alien, you mean? That one? Perhaps.
3-armed. I don't remember 3 arms. I remember 3.
Easy. Journey to Silius by Sunsoft. It's a pretty okay shooter. I think these review scores reflect just how okay it is. 6 from Steve. This game is not going to win any awards for being new or innovative, but Sunsoft does manage to introduce some new and genuinely playable twists to the standard action shooting theme. Nothing incredible, but a nice game in the end. 6.
Ed also gave it a 6. While Silas doesn't have the big name of the game as Batman did, this soft, hate when they say that, should stand as a good game on its own. All of the qualities of a decent shooter are here: challenging gameplay, decent variety of backgrounds, and a good difficulty curve, though set a bit too easy.
Matt says the kind of lady with the 3 bips. Call her Bippy. 7 from Martin. Although they stripped the Terminator title from this game, see, I call it Silius, whatever, Silas, is going to be one of the sleeper hits of the year, like Batman. While the graphics are small in scale, this allows for more variety of backgrounds and gameplay. Killer bosses and a jamming soundtrack are the high points. 7.
Sushi gives it a 6. Lucy meets Star Wars. A good action-adventure game with great music and standard enemy opposition. Typical Ross enemies throughout, as well as storyline intermissions. If you can kill them, make them laugh. What? If you can't kill them, make them laugh. There we go. What's a Ross enemies?
Ross. Anybody know that old school terminology? Typical Ross enemies. Run on the side scroller. Running on side scroller, something. I'm just guessing.
That sounds right.
I'm guessing it's side scroller. Ross discount store. By the way, Will.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Ghostbuster O-rings announced by Hasbro? Did you see that? No. They just announced. So O-rings are basically how the old GI Joes are made. Mm-hmm. 3.75 GI Joe size Ghostbusters with Ecto 1, and they're gonna do like a whole line. So like GI Joe sized Ghostbusters.
Just when I thought I was out from Hasbro, they sucked me back in.
But dude, I think they're listening, because now you can have like play sets and scenes and stuff, because it all makes sense and it's for a smaller scale. So I'm pretty excited about that. It's pretty cool. Roller games by Konami. I need the last tab to clear my sinuses. Yeah, I do. So 6 from Steve. Roller games is segmented in the same manner as any of Konami's blockbusters, with great graphics, smooth scrolling, and bosses. What the game lacks, however, is a sense of purpose. It ends up short with little to do with Double Dragon style action it's trying for. Yeah, this game's not very good. 6.
Ed also gave it a 6. Kung Fu on Skates. It's an idea that hasn't been overworked yet, and Konami has done a decent job in making an okay game. The obstacles in the road add variety, and there are enough opponents to work off all of the frustrations that have been building up. Thanks.
Matt says, waiting on the roundabout, Hasbro's lack of O-ring Joes. They tried that. They did the couple of 2-packs, the Commander Duke and the Snake Eyes Storm Shadow. They didn't sell for whatever reason. So they tried it at least. Christoph, what's up, buddy? You're back. Good to see you. Martin gives it a 5. I'm not a fan of the show. This is show roller games. Okay. Not a fan of the show, and I was expecting a boring skate around the ring punch and kicker, but instead you were treated to a variety of backgrounds ranging from cities to jungles. Great graphics and sound. Don't hide the control problems which take away from the game. Only average. Yeah. Have you played this roller game?
No.
No?
I don't remember that one. Nah, it doesn't look familiar to me. It looks kind of neat though. Like it'd be different enough to be worth trying.
You can tell it's Konami. Like it looks like Castlevania, right? Like,
I guess we might as well. Are we reading the other ones? We are, right? Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Roller Skate TV show gone berserk. More than enough challenge to keep it interesting, but this is definitely not Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. The graphics are good, and blinking only occurs when the characters talk. I like reading Sushi's because like you can really tell that Sushi is like a lot more savvy with terminology and like up with like things in the game. You're like, oh yeah, this guy knows what he's talking about.
He was one of the best reviewers in the history of EGM, so I'm glad he's here finally. It's awesome. So they got rid of like, I don't even know the other guy's names, like Rick or Paul or whatever. Swords and Serpents. I don't think I played this one either for the NES by Acclaim. Kind of a mixed review bag here. 4 from Steve. So this RPG, yeah, okay. This game is one of the better looking RPGs to appear with nice animated characters. What? that move and attack. What the hell does that mean? The gameplay keeps you moving around labyrinths, and there's a lot of items to collect, but the game is slow and tough to get into. 4. It's a 4.
Ed liked it though. First person's actually he likes the Ultimate type games and stuff too though, which is that this looks like, right?
Yeah.
First person perspective maze RPGs are becoming more popular. Acclaim has several new twists in it to make it different. My voice is starting to go now. A 4-player option and the overview map, which becomes visible as you move through the maze. Decent graphic detail and devious mazes make it interesting. It's all that talking last night.
Oh yeah, yeah, Matt. No, I know what a character is. It's just I've never
character.
I've never heard that to describe your avatar. It's just strange. But this is the infancy of all this terminology, right? So I don't hold it against them. 4. Interplay does it again. It looks like Acclaim's new developers are coming up with some real winners. Yeah, right. Jeez. Swords and Serpents is not enjoyable at all. You have no real control on your party. And the nice graphics and music won't save the Wizardry clone with enhanced features.
Oh, them graphics.
Damn graphics.
Sushi also liked this with a 7. An interesting role player for those who itch to search and destroy. Good graphics and music, but it takes a real commitment to play for a long time. Next time, leave me at home. It seems like giving it a 7 and then being like, just leave me at home instead of going out on an adventure. I don't know. Seems a little mixed up here, Sush.
Severus, Matt said Sushi came in a few issues ago, but Sushi is one of the greatest reviewers ever in EGM history. He was around for a long time, and I think later he becomes the fighting game guy. He's really into fighters.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there you go. Super Monaco.
Let's go.
For Master System. So again, the later Master System stuff was great, but they were just ports of the Genesis games that came before it. So take that as you will. 4, Super Monaco GP, well constructed as a decent playing game, just doesn't explode off the screen like the similar 8-bit efforts such as Outrun did with 4 megabytes. With some tuning, it could have been a hit. And what we get is a mediocre game that never gets into first gear. Huh.
I thought they'd be more into this one. I remember really liking this game. I like the 2-player option in this game, giving you direct head-to-head competition. While the graphics aren't as impressive as similar games, the addition of pit stops and wide selection of track help it along. But the best conversion, not the best conversion, but better than the average for the Smiths.
Is this true?
What?
Sushi X was a different staff for each month.
Really? I didn't know that. I thought it was one person.
Just did a deep dive of the Sushi X character. Really? That's news to me, dude. Hey, Mo. Happy Easter, buddy. Good to see you. Yeah, that's definitely news to me. Columns. Hey, don't laugh. This game's underrated. If you like Tetris, oh, it's for Master. Never mind. Look how awful it looks compared to Genesis. Steve gives it a 5, so it's similar to Tetris. The 8-bit version of Columns misses in several areas. While the game itself does introduce a Tetris-like falling puzzle game, the shapes are too small. The game is also much too easy. Both are minor shortcomings that detract from good design. Yeah, it's great on Genesis. Not so great on Master.
6 from Ed. Most puzzle games aren't memory hogs. The Genesis version is only 1 meg, and why Sega couldn't make a nice looking Smiths version is beyond me. The playfield is too small, and the NES Tetris can look good. Why can't the Smiths columns? Still worth trying if you don't have a Genesis.
Huh. 5. Martin says Columns is a great game on the Genesis. And in the arcades, but the Sega Master System version is lacking in graphics and gameplay. The gems are way too small. Yeah, look at it. It looks awful. Look, it looks really bad.
Yeah, yeah, it's very like it's not very sharp. It's very gross looking.
Yeah, the colors seem to blur together, making it difficult to play. Not bad, but not great. Oof. It's just like the background is literally just black.
Well,
Like,
I think
does
it's
it,
like stars or something there, but it's too
is
too
it?
low def to tell. Yeah, if you zoom in, you can kind of see it. It's like a
Ugh,
galaxy behind it.
looks awful.
What was already a small playfield has been further deduced to the point of no return. I really like this game, but not this version. A great coin-up game, but suffers here due to poor execution. Not a bad idea for this version.
Devil's Crush. So Cutthroat says Devil's Crush was the best game for the TurboGrafx 16.
I don't think I've even heard of this title.
Oh, it's fantastic. The sequel to Alien Crush. It's a pinball game. So good. Why my man Steve gives it a 5, I don't know. This is a decent follow-up to the first Turbo pinball game, Alien Crush, but there really isn't that much to it. Sure, it plays like an entirely different pinball, but the same formula and bonus rounds and the scrolling play field leave something to be desired. It's pinball. It's pinball. What do you what do you want it to do? Steve, we're no longer friends till the next review. You suck.
Sorry, I was reading chat. Two pinball games from the same company for the same system. While this version is definitely better with a lot more features and great animation, it still is pinball. Great sounds and bonus rounds add to the gameplay. I feel like that really didn't add a whole lot there, Ed. Thank you.
7. I mean, that's pretty good. 7 from Martin. If you
Martin?
get past the controversial theme, what's the controversial theme? Oh, it's like, well, because they have devil in it. Come on, man.
Yeah, you're talking about the era where people were complaining that D&D was like converting people to Satan.
I guess because devil, and yeah, it looks like there's a, I don't want to say a pentagram, but it looks like some kind of weird star. Whatever. If you get past the controversial theme, Devil's Crush is a very cool pinball simulator following the lines of Alien Crush. Incredible sights and sounds and excellent play blend to bring a very entertaining title.
Sushi gave it an 8. He really liked it. Despite a few inherent flaws, this video pinball is a blast to play. Beautiful graphic presentation and sophisticated music kept me enthralled for hours. Lots of secret bonuses and bonus rounds enhance play for all ages.
Christoph, thanks, buddy. It's just this little sinus infection. I'll be okay. Appreciate it, though. Mo says we need laser guns in our pinball game. Yeah, like what do they want? Oh, there's going to be an RPG section when you get into the cave. Sorry, I like that one. So I take it a little bit, a little bit to heart. Psychosis, Will, if you've never played it, is friggin' wicked.
It looks like something I would play. Yeah, I never played that one either.
Yeah, this might be one for the list, buddy. I'm just saying. This was one I never had this, still don't have it, but it's great. Psychosis is a side-scrolling shooter from NEC. Steve gives it an 8. Psychosis is a good shooter in the same vein as R-Type with option weapons and an alien armada large enough to take out even the best players. The pastel look of the game needs to get lost. What? But the play is the thing. In this department, it wins. Just read that for me. The pastel look. Read from there on. Like that's rough.
The pastel look of the game needs to get lost, but the play is the thing, and in this department, it wins. What?
Sure. 8.
NEC has really been coming out of with some great games lately. Psychosis is no exception and is very, very different. While still a shooter, it's the totally weird graphics, shapes, and colors which make the game this good. Has to be seen to believed. Ah, bless you.
Cutthroat. It's a little rough, yeah. Martin says 8 as well. One of the most bizarre shooters I've ever played. Backgrounds are made up of optical illusions that will trick you, attack you, and drive you nuts. I love it. Tough from beginning to end, Psychosis is one shooter that makes others look too normal to be interesting. Too short. I need more.
Everybody seems to like this. Everybody gave it 8 across the board. It's not
Yeah.
very often we see everybody have the same review score. I moved the page. There we go. Super shooter with graphics ranging from weird to abstract. Good weapons and power-ups as well as eerie music. The alien will taunt you along in between rounds of play. The distortion effect that announces each round is also cool. If R-Type is your game, so is this.
Nice. Ninja Gaiden. Hi. Oh, baby. Moonwalker. One of my favorite Genesis games. 7s.
Yeah, but the Genesis game was not as good as the arcade version.
True. That's very true. 7 from Steve. Moonwalker is a game that touches on all the best parts of most hit games and is constructed fairly well. Its problems rest in multiple options that bring more confusion than action. The graphics and sound effects are good, but the game's repetitive. Dude, this is the best friggin' game of all time. It really is. Just say.
Dancing the enemies to death is certainly different. There are a lot of levels in the game, and while they look different, somehow they all seem to play the same. It's a bit too easy of a game, and unfortunately, it won't take very long to beat it. Ha ha! I see what you did there, Ed. Ha ha. Oh, Jay left. All right, we'll go down the list here. We got Steve here. Moonwalker isn't as bad as it is hyped up to be sure. The music is based off of Mikey's biggest hits, and granted, the graphics and animation are extremely detailed, but the gameplay for a while tends to be somewhat repetitive, and you're doing things over and over and over. You all right?
Yeah, I just wanted to grab it.
Oh, okay. Your screen went out. I was worried.
Yeah, this game's awesome. This is one I'm proud to own. This one has gone up in value quite a bit. So there it is for all you guys that never seen it. Moonwalker for the Genesis. Perfect. There you go. So I got Sushi then.
Sure.
It's like Sushi X gives it a 7 as well. All 7s. This game is no thriller, but decent nevertheless. With initial gameplay similar to Shinobi, but with moves that made Jackson famous, our hero dances on the faces of evil men. Rescuing kidnapped girls as music pulsates is as good as it gets. I'm waiting now for a Latoya game. Never happened. Sorry, Latoya didn't do Thriller. I'm just saying. So it's not gonna happen. Janet Jackson, that would have been that joke would have made more sense. If you said Janet Jackson, there you go.
Yeah.
Budokan. Oh, this game's bad, dude. Do you know about this game?
I don't think I've ever even heard of this. It's just like a one-on-one like tournament karate game.
Yes, it plays so bad. The very first wave of Electronic Arts games that came out on Genesis all had cardboard boxes, first of all, so that sucked. Second, they all played terrible. Like they had Populous, Budokan, I forget the other one they had, but they played so terribly. This game is horrible. This should get a 0. It should be a 0. 3 from Steve. This game is a joke. Well, I'm sure there are certain segments. There are certain segment that enjoys the rigorous training methods of the martial arts. Most gamers I know play games to have fun, and it gets and I get amazed by what the Genesis in particular can do. If that's you, then stay away from Budokan. Budokan.
I think it's more fun to say Budokan. Budokan. Ed also gave it a 3. I just couldn't get excited about this game. While it's a true simulation, it just isn't fun. The moves are complex and the time required to be a master is too long. If you want to wear a black belt, I'll go to Sears and buy one.
Oh my god.
Waiting in line to pay for it would be more fun than playing this game. Ed, that was a good one.
Was there a special edition Moonwalker Cutthroat? No. The arcade one, also made by Sega, is very different. It's a 3-player co-op. All 3 people play as Michael. But yeah, like Will said, it is better.
The arcade version is way better.
It's cool that the 2 games are different. I like that though. Yeah, Moonwalker was hard to find, Severus. We live pretty close, and yeah, Canada really didn't have, at least in my neck of the woods, we didn't have a lot of Moonwalker cabs. I think I played it once in the arcade. 4 from Martin. I found this game boring and unexciting as Kung Fu games go. It might be authentic, but the simulation of the many moves are animated slowly, and waiting for your character to regain enough stamina to strike the opponent is annoying, tedious, and awfully not fun to play.
Womp womp. Sushi gave it a generous 5 compared to everyone else. This game is as hard to play as martial arts are to learn. Karate Kids and Bruce Lee wannabes need only apply. I like the ride on the bullet train the best.
What? I don't know what that means.
What?
Wizards
Sushi,
and
right?
Warriors. Were you ever a fan of the Wizards and Warriors?
Yeah.
You like that?
They're good games.
Developed by, or published by Acclaim, but developed by Rare. How many people know that? 7. Wizards and Warriors X brings Kuros character to the Game Boy, and he's not the worst. He's not the worst for wear. The action is slow at times, but the gameplay and graphics are top notch for a portable. A few new features, but for the most part, a good rendition of the popular NES title.
Yeah, I remember liking this one on the NES.
Oh, Jesus.
All 7s for everyone. All jokes about the numbering system aside, this is a decent action game for Game Boy. All we've been seeing lately is Game Boy puzzle games, and this cart is a real treat. It plays well considering the system is only on, considering the system it's on, and is definitely worth buying.
Curb Stomp, what's up? Happy Easter, my dude. Josh is at the Collectors Expo and bought SNES Turtles in Time and Sega Turtles Hyperstone Heist for a decent deal. Nice, dude. Buddy Josh is over on Twitch with Willie. Watching him play some Call of Duty yesterday.
Yeah, Josh is awesome. I don't get to tune in with Josh much, very often, unfortunately.
Dude, he's so funny. His humor's so dry. I love it. Wizards Warrior 7 from Martin. I must have been playing the links all this time because I missed 3 through 9. What Wizards of Warriors 10? It's X, you silly. Wizards Warriors 10 is another good NES conversion of the Game Boy. It plays okay. You jump a little more than you want to at times. Nice graphics and stereo sound. 18 levels of challenge and blurry scrolling. Yeah, the Achilles heel of the Game Boy, the screen blur.
Yeah, that was just an issue with the system itself. You couldn't really prevent it. It didn't have a high refresh rate. Poor Game Boy. You know what though? It's still like ahead of its time. That thing made like way for a lot of portable gaming as we know it.
Agreed.
A well-made action game for Game Boy, not as detailed as Chapter 6, not as clever as Chapter 8, not as difficult as Chapter 4, not as colorful as Chapter 9, not as challenging as Chapter 5, but not as expensive as Chapter 21.
Moving on. I don't know what that is.
I don't know. That's what Sushi... I didn't write it. I'm just reading it. I'm just a man with a voice. A lot of reviews this month.
I had 1 viewer on my stream Thursday. I didn't know you were streaming, dude.
On YouTube, Curb Stomp?
Yeah, we'll check it out. Let us know your schedule. Guys, check out Curb Stomp. He's been around for quite a while here on the channel. Give him some support if you don't mind. Ooh, Batman. Well, look at the graphics and then look at the scores. Wow.
Yeah,
Eight
just
for
goes to show
Steve.
graphics aren't everything.
Yeah.
Twitch. Let me see. Hold on. Is it what's your Twitch name, Kirsten? Let's fix this.
Yeah. Throw your Twitch name out for everybody so they can check you out, dude. Let's all help each other out. It's what it's all about. 8. This is a great Game Boy game. Batman has a little bit of everything, including multi-scrolling action adventure, flying, shooting, and much more. The graphics by Game Boy standards are what?
Oh.
What is that word? Super what?
Superlative? Super laxative?
With intermission and bossives superb. God. These words, man.
Words are hard.
They're definitely above grade 4 reading.
NES Batman was great, and Game Boy Batman is very, very good. Probably one of the best Game Boy titles of the year. The speed is right for the slow Game Boy screen. And the gameplay challenging, the sound... Wait. Yeah, the gameplay challenging, the sound better than the NES. Really? And the intermissions, outstanding.
There you go. Curb Stomp 442 on Twitch. Josh, if you want to throw your Twitch name out too, we'll highlight that for people to check you out. Two good supporters of my channel and of Willie's channel. So if you guys can follow them on Twitch, Josh will throw his up here in a second. Okay, I think we can move on to Clax. We'll just do 2.
Yeah, we were reading them all, and I was like, I thought we were just doing like the more popular ones, but
yeah. Clax 9 for the Lynx. This is the best version of Clax on the home market we will see. The Lynx, not only capable of vertical design of the game, but also has identical graphics, voice and sound straight from the arcades. Clax is great. On the go, never looked better.
it does. That screenshot does look really good. Like for that era, something about it very impressive. Atari is doing an excellent job in not only getting great titles for the Lynx, but more importantly, they are programming them so that they play well. Clax is a great example as it nearly duplicates the feel of the arcade version. Awesome sounds.
Fantastic game. Xenophobe for the Atari Lynx. Ooh, look at this. All these different scores. 5 from Steve. Xenophobe suffers in 2 ways. Now, this game was supposed to be a system seller. This was supposed to be an authentic reproduction of the arcade. So that's really bad because this one was supposed to push the Lynx. I never played it, but I know a couple dudes who had this. Xenophobe suffers in 2 ways. The game is way too short with only 9 levels before a dismal ending plays. Secondary, the difficulty problem is compounded because the game, it gives you multiple lives. Looks good, but not enough bang for the buck.
Wow. Link's Xenophobe is the way the NES version should have been. The action is consistent and the pesty aliens just keep on coming. Looks good on the small screen, and like the other Link's cards, it sounds great too. Overall, decent shooter.
Nice. I need a Lynx for the collection. I need to get one.
Oh, really time for Jay's favorite section.
It's Quarterman with his random thoughts. Which one are we gonna? We'll just do maybe 1 or 2. Look for our buddies at Warner Communications. Again, guys, Quarterman is the gossip guy. And what was great about him is most of the time, I think all of the time, all his rumors were true. He didn't really ever report on stuff that wasn't. So that's great. Look for our buddies at Warner Communications, the new distributor of our favorite game mag, EGM, to buy back into the video game scene in a major way. The big W has already bought back into Atari games, and there are even more rumors that they may make a play for the Atari for the awesome color handheld. We'll keep you posted. Interplay, responsible for the latest batch of Acclaim Nightmares, has secured their own license to produce NES and Game Boy carts. I'm with you 100%, guys, but you're going to have to do better than Total Recall if you want to survive. Look for the Simpsons to be invading the local arcades as well as your living room. That you guys remember the Simpson arcade game?
Mhm.
So good. That's Konami though. While Acclaim will be responsible to bring Bad Boy Bart and the rest of the suburban household to the Nintendo and Game Boy screens, arcade powerhouse Konami has secured the rights to the Quarter Sucker. Look for a game that is similar in some ways to either arcade mega hit Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. ... Yeah, we saw that with X-Men, Turtles, Simpsons. They were all pretty much the same game, but they're all. I would own all of them. They're all wicked.
Yeah, Marge was the best because she had the vacuum. She had that
Yep,
long reach. So
100%.
good. Let's see. That's an interesting one. The Nintendo Super Famicom SFX, I'm assuming that's sound effects, will soon be on display for the first time in Japan. The upcoming Nintendo show in Japan will not only be the launching pad for the most radical super machine, but yours truly is also expecting to get my hands on hot third-party softs. Ugh. Like Ghouls and Ghosts 3, R-Type 2, and Final Fight, which are all around 70% completed. Let's not forget Super Mario World and other cool games Nintendo is planning. I just want to know when it's heading our way. Yes, Doc. If you knew anything about games, you know that Universal has been making arcade games for years. The smaller and more complex Lynx is on its way. Huh, that's just like a random change in thought there.
Yeah, it's like, okay.
The machine is almost half the horizontal size of its forefather, and it will come with some nifty new features like an automatic backlight shutoff. Also, look for Atari to redesign the carts into a shape that comes with a shell to protect them from dust and elements. Combined with loads of new games, expect Xmas time. The Atari label could become a contender once again.
They were
And not.
so close, man, with the Jag. They're so close. But we know history. Not. Shadow of the Ninja, I can't recommend enough by Natsume for the NES. Terrific games. This is just stuff coming out in the next few months. Okay, how do you personally say this?
Ease?
See, I always said wise. Like
Tell me wise.
WISE. Wise book 1 and 2.
We could be wrong either way. We're probably both
you're
wrong.
Correct. I think it is ease, but I always said wise.
It's probably
wise
ye. It's yes. Yes.
Yees. I never played these games, but they're
still very popular.
Yep.
They still have releases that come out and they sell fairly well.
Yeah, this was a big one. The cinematics in this game were huge. This was also a big system seller for the Turbo CD. Atari went over the cliff. What cliff climber ledge? Got the losing horns. Well, because their marketing campaign was a big lie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do the math. Stupid.
And then people did the math and they're like, it's not adding up.
But they play the game. We did. Awful. Every one of them. Legendary Axe 2. Not quite as good. But it's all right nonetheless. You still got to play Legendary Axe 1. You have to.
Well, we're going to look for it when we go and do our hunts.
Going to find it. We get it. Bravo Man Tiger Road. I think this is a Capcom game. I believe. Translated over. Dragon's Curse, Bravo Man. Here you go, Cutthroat. If he hasn't passed out. SNK announces stateside release for the 32-bit Neo Geo console. Wow, this thing is look at Magician Lord right here. It's so good. These games are just miles above everything else in price and in power and in gameplay. Like the games are so great.
It's had to make it more affordable. Maybe they could have been a contender.
And they never did.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Even remember the Neo Geo CD? There's a rare one. It was like 95. They tried a CD-ROM, but the problem is they had games like this, and the load times were so unbearable.
Mm.
That's a rare one, man. The Neo Geo CD. I should look out for that. It's probably worth $1 billion.
Also, Cutthroat, they did do a remake of DuckTales. It was actually really good.
Yeah, that was about 2010.
Mm-hmm.
It was on Wii U, 360, PS3. Yep.
I think it's on Steam. It is on Steam. Yep. $15 US on Steam, Cutthroat.
Skipping through the tips and tricks. Tips and tricks.
Hey, nibby dibby dip tip tip
Hey,
dip
trips
dips.
and taps. Stuff coming out of Japan. Oh, the Tokyo Game Show, Tokyo Toy Show. Those are always great. And they would call it the Toy Show, but it was always, again, toys, games, one in the same.
Well, that was the Tokyo Game Show, right? They still do it.
Yeah, but there's toys as well, right? It's all of the same stuff.
Yeah.
So great. You know what I was looking to play? This came into my mind the other day. I never played Metal Gear 5. I wonder if that's on Steam. It probably is, right? No? Huh.
Metal Gear 5? Yeah, it is actually. Sorry. I'm kidding. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. I think they released that on everything. I can't remember what I played that on.
I'm going to look it up right now.
Yep. Metal Gear Solid 5.
Oh, you're so quick. You're so fast.
This Phantom Pain. Also, Metal Gear Solid 5 is fantastic. It's really good.
Ooh, look at this. Look at this. Right here. Alex Kidd could very well be on his way out, as here comes Sonic the Hedgehog. Yep, and that's correct. And my boy Alex Kidd fired.
Yeah, gone.
This Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic sucks. He sucks. I'm sorry, he's terrible.
I'll be honest. Like, anybody who loves Sonic, that's cool. I have friends that are really big into Sonic. I never liked the Sonic games.
Me too.
I don't think they play well.
They're not fun. So the big thing with Sonic was they want you to go fast. The problem is you always get hit unless you know the game like the back of your hand.
Mm-hmm.
So the very thing that you're supposed to do that makes the character cool, you get punished for. And I agree with you. It didn't play well. Mario was so tight. Blasphemy. Oh, here we go. I only like Sonic and Knuckles. I don't like it. I don't like it when it went 3D. Like, name a good Sonic game. The first
Sonic Spinball.
No, and you know what? Even worse, dude, is they tried to do what Mario did, right, with the family. Like, they have all these characters.
Yeah.
None of them are interesting. I'm sorry.
Take that back. Biggs the cat likes fishing, and he's a cool dude. Okay.
The Shadow the Werehog or whatever.
Shadow. Yeah. Shadow's pretty big. Like, Shadow had their own spin-off game series. A lot of people like Shadow.
Oh.
Just don't look up a lot of Sonic stuff on the internet. You may run into a lot of weird Sonic things.
Let me. Oh God, I'm going down. Hang on. Let me find you something you can read off here. Will, I'm gonna pull my nose.
You're gonna pull your nose.
Okay, Mega Man.
Jay's dying. Hold on, I gotta catch up. I had to wait for him to get where he was going. Okay, there we go. Mega Man.
I'll be back in 1 sec. Ooh.
All right. Hi guys. It's me, WillLo. We're gonna talk about Mega Man. The adventure continues. Mega Man 3 was great. I had so much excitement and hype for this after finishing Mega Man 2, which was so hard. And it was such a triumph. I went to school after finishing Mega Man 2. And I boasted about it. I'm like, yeah, Dr. Wily didn't stand a chance. I was so cool. I did it. I did the thing. And everybody was like, you're a loser. Get out of here. And I was like, oh. So rude. But Mega Man is back in this, his third adventure. Our hero again has to bring peace to 8 new worlds. The mining robots have gone crazy again, but this time it looks like Dr. Wily isn't behind this revolt. Could he have really changed? Dr. Wily and Dr. Light are finishing up a new peacekeeping project, and all that are needed are the special energy crystals, which are found in only these 8 worlds. Mega Man has to go and wipe out the robots, and bring back the badly needed crystals. This time, he has his trusty robot dog, Rush, to help him out, and he'll need him as his 3rd generation robots are extra mean. Yeah, freaking Rush. I don't know why. I just loved Rush so much.
Yep.
You had the springboard on him, and you could do the jet, like the skateboard jet, and then there's the submarine he could turn into.
Trampoline.
Yeah. So good.
Yeah, he was great. Hey, happy Easter, Stanley. How you doing?
Rush was always a good boy. Yeah.
So
cool.
I had said earlier in the broadcast that this was the first game I ever purchased with my own money. Do you remember the first game you ever bought?
With my own money?
Yeah, when you were old enough to work, you got your first job, you got your first paycheck, you went to EB or wherever you went. What did you get?
So it wasn't a game on its own. My first job, I worked at a Tim Hortons, and I saved up money, and I actually bought a PlayStation 2. And then I got like Tekken Tag with it.
Wow,
and
that's huge.
Yeah. Was that Summoner? Summoner was the other one I got. Tekken Tag. And there's one other game I can't remember I got on it. With
Bouncer. Bouncer was a Square launch. That was a
Oh, yes, I did. Yeah, that game was not good, unfortunately. But I did get Bouncer because I was like, Square Enix, I gotta buy it.
And it was a cool idea. I like the idea of Bouncer, but it just wasn't good. Hot Toys episode Friday challenge. Oh, thanks, dude. Yes, I did. Yeah, that has nothing to do with this, but yeah.
I heard that that you guys had a lot of hot sauce.
Yeah, I had to bomb you on Insanity. I think it's 250,000 Scoville.
Have you ever tried one of these yet? I don't know. This could be a fun thing if you want to do some hot stuff.
No, what is that? Here, let's make it big here. What is that?
So I got these. They're Bean Boozles. And it's the fiery one, right? So what you do is you basically you spin this. Oh god, breaking stuff. You spin one of these little wheels, and it'll land on one, and then you eat it. So there's stuff like sriracha, jalapeno, California Reaper, habanero, and cayenne pepper flavored ones.
Wow, that sounds fun.
Some of them are not great.
Maybe we should do a game related episode of these games are hot. And Cutthroat had said that play games and do that. The problem is you can't see, right?
That makes it more fun.
Yeah, I guess, I suppose. Okay, so Dargoon says his first game was Tomb Raider 96. Nice.
Ooh.
I still got to get that HD collection because I never got into the originals because I didn't like the way they played.
That HD collection looks pretty good.
Yeah.
You guys hate your organs? Madness, yeah.
You just need a good cleansing, right? It's gonna flush everything out once in a while.
Just flush the system, get it all out there.
Yeah, so here's Rush. He turns into the springboard, the submarine, and the jet. Yeah. There you go. That's cool. What a great game. Mega Man 3 is so good. Look, Japanese games is this? Die Hard? No, this is an import store in the States, though. What's 816 area code? Anybody know offhand? But they had the super graphics here for $2.99.
See, look at the prices on these.
See?
They haven't really, when you really think about it, gaming prices over the years haven't changed a whole lot.
That is correct.
And like the development costs have increased like exponentially. So that's why when like prices have gone up on games, I'm kind of like, I kind of get it.
But everyone's freaking out. Like I'd mentioned Canadian dollars that Dragon's Dogma 2 is $94.99 on Steam.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, whoa, that's a new record. Dude, I paid $129 for Phantasy Star 2. I say that all the time. I remember Mario 3, $99. Yep. I have the price tag.
Yeah, it wasn't The Ocarina of Time, I think wasn't the special like cart one even more expensive at the time too? It was like $100 some.
64 games were very expensive. The bigger the
Yeah.
game, because the cart, like I think they were 79 or $89 Canadian. So anyway, yeah, like games have always been like this much money. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm not saying it's good or bad, but like you said, with crazy costs going up, like what was Spider-Man, 200 million to make or something? Spider-Man 2, something crazy like that. And they're
Yeah,
still
like,
keeping it around the same.
like it's not unheard of nowadays for like AAA titles to be over $100 million to produce anymore. Like that's like almost common or expected. So what are you going to do to get the money back, I guess, right? You got to up the prices on things or hope that you sell more.
Right, right. Used to be Kansas City. Okay. Thanks, Matt.
Gain ground?
Gain ground. It's like Commando, kind of.
Oh. The screenshots, yeah, like it's military looking, but it also kind of gives me like a Gauntlet vibe.
Yeah. Yeah, very much like a top-down shooter. Oh, Genesis does. Can't do that on Nintendo. What Nine Inch Nails introducing Afterburner 2 and Super Monaco GP. These ads are great. Don't you love these? I love them. They're just so bright and colorful. And if you had a TV like this in 1990, you were from outer space, because this was the future of TVs right here. Like these things were awesome. These like black Sony Trinitrons.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. Look at this. Oh my God. Look at this ad. Is amazing.
I remember these ads.
Oh, so good. Genesis just does it all, dude.
Da-dum. Dick Tracy coming soon. Leave it there.
Ghostbusters 2, which was just called Ghostbusters. Dick Tracy was great. Russell Warren never came here. That only stayed in Japan. Dynamite Duke, Mystic Defender. So there's something for everybody here. Great, beautiful, colorful screenshots for every game. Sega was the top of their game for advertising. It's so good. Game Ground looks like a James Bond teamed up with Rambo and John Matrix from Commando.
Huh.
That was Schwarzenegger's name in Commando?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
John Matrix.
Really? I haven't seen that since I was a kid.
Still a good movie. All those old Arnold movies, like they're not like masterpieces, but they're still fun watches. I just watched The Running Man again. Oh my God.
Right? It's so
freaking
good.
love that movie.
It's so good. That movie's got a lot of heart to it. I love it. Running Man's great.
There's a lot of corniness to it, but Running Man is it's just a fun watch.
Dynamo, the opera singer,
Yeah.
shoots electricity. Anyway, your Psychosis. Yeah, colorful game. This game's great.
Yeah, this looks neat. This would be something I'd play for sure.
We got some maps.
Thunder Force. Yeah.
Thunder Force 3.
Also, another fun, pretty game. I like those like side-scrolling like shooters. I don't know, something about them. My favorite still is UN Squadron on the Super Nintendo.
Oh, beautiful game. Capcom.
Yep. Freaking love that game.
Beautiful. These guys are saying Commando is still a lot of fun. I got to check it out. Is it available on anything to stream? That's a good question.
I don't know about that. And like we get different streaming stuff than the US does too. So
yeah. And Commando had action figures too. Oh yeah. Whip Rush, another great Genesis shooter. Yeah, this stuff is so fantastic. What an era. I mean, I love the era we're in now. Here's a question. I'm gonna throw this out to everyone. Here you go. What's your favorite era? Will, if you could go back and relive a year or like a generation, where would you go back to? Just say like NES era, Super NES era, or whatever.
I think it would be the PS1 N64 era.
Yeah, I guess it would probably be your favorite console, right?
Yeah, but also like both those systems, like they had so many good bangers and like revolutionized the market. And like a lot of the games that came from the 64 PS1 era have like defined gaming as we know it today, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I would do 90s again for sure. Mid 90s. Just when you had so much competition and everything was so weird and groundbreaking.
Mm-hmm. You don't get that much anymore. I think we were talking about this not long ago, where like we've come to a point in gaming where like yes, games start looking better, but there's not that huge generational leap where you're like, oh my god, this is a huge difference anymore.
Graphically, yeah.
Yeah, but like when you get to like new, like when you jump from the Nintendo to the Super Nintendo to the 64 to the GameCube, like those were big leaps, and like
Yep.
you could visually see it, and you'd be like, "Wow, this is a huge difference." We just don't
Yeah.
really seem to get that much anymore.
I remember when we went to 360 to Xbox One. I was like, okay. And then it was when we played Dead Rising 3. Then I got it because there was like 100 zombies on the screen. I'm like, okay. So it's just you can house more stuff in your game as opposed to making it prettier. It was prettier, but yeah, you could tell the difference as much.
Mm-hmm.
I would say going to that early 3D to like Saturn and PlayStation from Genesis and stuff like that. That was probably the biggest difference.
Yeah.
And then cleaning it up on PS2. And PS2 on that stuff's easy to play. Unfortunately, the early Polygon stuff is really rough.
Going back to like the original Resident Evils with the tank controls, oh god, it's
Yeah,
tough.
yeah, it's rough. It's a little rough.
Oh yeah, Cutthroat. I think I was talking about this on stream last night. I can't remember. Was it you asking or was it you asking or someone else? But somebody saw this in the cabinet, and I was like, they were asking about it. But yeah, there was a 360 that had like the remaster of Splatterhouse that came out. You remember that? You have one? You should have one still.
See right in the corner? Right there.
Yeah.
See it? Right.
Yep. Yeah, we both got one. Yeah, somebody on stream was asking about it last night. I can't remember if it was Cutthroat or not. Oh, there you go.
There we go.
A closer look. It's a Splatterhouse on it.
Yeah, that was a promo from EB when you pre-ordered Splatterhouse. It was kind of like a reimagining of the first one, but it had this really weird, like, remember the nudes of Jessica, I think was your girlfriend's name, and you would find like nude pictures of her.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Remember
That was a little weird.
It was just a little weird.
A little bit weird.
Dargoon would go back to the 80s, yeah. Mo says Dreamcast, PS1. Yeah, so like mid to late 90s.
Dreamcast is great though, man. I feel so bad for Sega because like that Dreamcast system was fantastic. It was just not marketed well, and like I know a lot of dudes who had like pirated software for it. It was very easy to do, and like people would just rip stuff and just play on it all the time.
Matt, Google Splatterhouse of 360. Google like pictures. They weren't like, they're like cartoony pictures, but yeah, it's like the main character's name's Rick. It was like his girlfriend. You would find nude pictures of her. Or
Dreamcast is great, but didn't have the support. Yeah. Third party support was really, really bad on Dreamcast.
And Sega didn't have the money to keep up with. You can't keep up with Microsoft and Sony.
Yeah.
It's when the big boys came in, and that was like the end of innocence, right? I remember there was a time it was rumored Nintendo was going to bow out. And I'm like, remember, I said this to you, Will, so many times. I'm like, if Nintendo is gone, I'm out. I'm done.
Would you still be that way with this now? I don't think so.
No, not now.
I really like Nintendo games and stuff, but they've kind of, their games are always great and fun, but it's like, I'm like, yeah, I'll pick them up eventually. They're not a rush for me. It's not very often that I'm like, I have to really pick up a Nintendo game anymore.
Depends, right? The big Marios, the big Zeldas, 100%. But apart from that, like I don't play Pokemon. Yeah. I don't play Donkey Kong or any of that stuff. So yeah, the new Nintendo, unless it launches with a Zelda, which it won't. But if it did, I would rush out to buy it. But even the Switch, I had one in the beginning and I got rid of it because I just wasn't using it, right?
I only use mine when like the big exclusives come out. Like I'm playing Super Mario RPG right now, but then when that's done, I'll be like, put it in the drawer and wait until another Mario or Zelda come out. Probably.
Did you ever play this one? It's pretty good.
I did. Yep, I like this one. Better
Yeah,
than the NES game.
better than the NES. Graphics that reflected the cartoon, where the NES was this weird hybrid of mostly the comic book. This one made more sense. This
Yeah.
was the cartoon adaptation, which was actually really great. Super glove ball, get bent. Oh yeah, this is their new section. This is
Yeah,
their
this is
new
what they were talking about right earlier.
screenplay. Yeah, this is good. This makes sense. You know what? Keeping up with TV shows, movies, Predator 2, take it or leave it. Actually, Predator 2's got a big cult following now. I remember it used to be hated, the one with Danny Glover for the
It's not
longest time.
it's not bad, but it's not as good as the original Predator. Like coming up against that, like following that first Predator, that's a hard follow. That movie is fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't watched the second one since it came out. Curbstop says, growing up in a really, really small town, I always felt like the area I lived in was a few years behind the rest of the world. Yeah,
Yeah, that makes it hard.
that's what Canada is like for most things still, especially for toys. We get everything dead last.
Yeah, we're always behind. And then, like, if you want to import stuff, they charge you a freaking arm and a leg.
Yeah.
Like that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth collector's edition I got. So, like, I paid a pretty penny for it, like, already. And then, like, another good chunk for shipping. And then when I came to the door, they're like, oh, it's like another $78 in duties. I was like, ah.
So you're paying US dollars, so you're converting it.
Yep.
And you have the duty tax and shipping. I don't even want to know. I can imagine what it was, but
Stupid.
hey, you like the statue, right, of old Sephiri?
That's true. It's a fantastic statue. It's just it's so hard to get stuff up here into Canada.
Yeah, and a lot of places like EB don't carry that stuff now, which is
Yeah.
weird. You'd think now with physical media going away, that they would be all about that. You think now EB games would thrive because this is where all the old school hardcore gamers like us will go to get the Sephiroth statue and everything else that you're not even gonna be able to get regular versions of these games. So EB should be just killing it now, right?
You'd think so, right? The thing with Square is they only do it through their store.
Oh
now.
yeah,
The collector's editions, yeah.
even not too long ago, like 2018, 2019, when Resident Evil 2 came out, whatever, 17, the Leon statue I got, that one we got allocated like 5.
Mhm.
That was like it, right? So even back then, that stuff was just starting to phase out. But collector's edition, like remember the Cyberpunk one? It was like $350.
Mhm.
Like that's a lot to ask for.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Especially for a brand new series, which turned out to be fantastic. But for a new series, that's a big ask. You know, it's a big ask. Hey, Ghetto, what's up, buddy? Good morning. Happy Easter.
Morning, Ghetto. You already paid for delivery and duties, Severus says. Sometimes, yeah. It's weird how it happens up here because duties aren't always like, it's not run through the companies or anything. That's literally government, and they pick and choose whatever they send. Usually, if it's a bigger box item, they'll be like, oh, yeah, we're just going to charge duties on that. But sometimes you can order like any item and they don't care. They just put it through. It's like hit and miss. It's weird.
Yeah, Severus is a fellow Canadian. Not too far from us.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know why. Like some things I've ordered, I don't get charged for duties, and then other things, like boop, they like charge me at the door. I'm like, yeah, because like the mail carrier has like the little pad, and they're like, oh, your pay. I'm like,
That's why stuff like Big Bad Toy Store, we did a fun stream yesterday where we did like virtual shopping online, but I stopped ordering because there's the exchange, which is not their fault at all, right? That's just the way currency is. But then I would get hit with like $30-$40 duty. Boom. And it's like, okay, well, you know, if you don't have it at the door, they take it to the post office, then you have to wait another day and go get it, kind of thing.
brokerage fee. But it says literally on the thing, it says duties.
Yeah, mine were duty tax.
Yeah, it says duty tax on it. Like
it's either over.
I've never
50,
seen a brokerage fee.
Yeah, $50 or $100. I don't know what it is. Matt, it was a phone is the exclusive for the collectors. I just know the Cyberpunk box was gigantic. And
Yeah,
I'm like, what
it
the
had a
hell is
statue in there.
Yeah,
I
those
want
are
to get that statue. I've been trying to find one like somebody just reselling it, but they ask a lot for them.
My buddy worked at GameStop and got sent home because he kept asking people if they wanted to purchase a PS2 Resident Evil 4 skin. Oh, I got it. This is a cool segment. I don't know if they started it just now. Maybe it was a few issues ago. They show the ending of a game. So this is the last boss. I think King Drool's his name. Oh, Bonk's Adventure. And look how great that. Look at this guy. He's so awesome.
Bonk is fantastic.
Yeah. Foreign civilization is on Earth with us. You mean aliens? I think that's what you're trying to say, right? Think there's aliens here? Well, there's aliens out there for sure.
You could be watching us. We could be the aliens.
Yeah. We're the aliens, man. Thank you once again to Retro Mags. An absolutely great site, guys. Again, we put the link in the description of the video so you can follow along. Or just go to Retro Mags like Will did. Finally figured it out.
Well, I didn't think of it until now. I don't know.
And you guys got to pick this up. Play Moonwalker. It's friggin' awesome.
How much is it now? $1 billion?
It's a lot, yeah. You could get the card on its own, but... And I don't know why, but it's not on any collection of anything. And I think Cutthroat was asking if there'll ever be a sequel. No. I doubt it very much. Michael
Not at this point.
Huge gamer. So if he was still around, probably, but...
I wonder, like, how much the Jacksons would charge to, like, have a remake done, because you'd have to use the same music, right? So licensing that music out and stuff, they'd probably charge a pretty penny. It's probably not even worth it at this point to do so.
Yeah. How much money is enough money, right? I don't know. Oh, thanks, Severus. So we still got the stream to do after. We're going to play 7 Days to Die with the community. We're still going. It's actually started to get a little bit better. When I ran to the bathroom, we got some good moving forward here. Arthur, how you doing? There are a lot of arcade cabinet reproductions out there. I would love to have a D&D Shadows of Mystera cabinet in my basement. Well, there's ways. Yeah, there's ways to get that.
There's like
right?
If you even just look it up, like I know here locally we have a couple people that make cabinets and like put stuff in them at request as well too. They're like they're not official ones, but like it's getting harder and harder to find the official like cabinets anymore.
And like you were saying too, right? They've gone up. Even the 1-ups that we both have, those have gone up.
Yeah, it's stupid expensive now.
They were like $4.99 depending on the game. I think Jam was a bit more because it's 4-player. But the regular ones, I think were around like $350, $450. Now you said they were like what, $6, $7?
Yeah, $7.49, $7.99 now. I've seen them in Canada. Some of them I've seen up to $8.99. Some of the newer ones because they have like the pro versions now.
Yeah, that's a lot. It's a lot of cash.
Yeah.
All right, Willie. Tell everyone where they can find you.
Well, I do have a YouTube channel here under WillLo. I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do with it. I got some shorts that are going up regularly. And I don't know. We're working on that anyways. But mainly you can find me over on Twitch every Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday, except for one weekend a month because I have to work. We play a lot of open world survival stuff. Last night we did we streamed for 13 hours yesterday, and it was in a Donkey Kong outfit. Because why? It's the internet. We do it, you know? But yeah, twitch.tv/WillLo. You can find me there for the most part every Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yeah, and I'm here. You guys know we'll be playing 7 Days to Die in about 20 minutes. I'm here Wednesday through Sunday. Next week, I am filming Nintendo 64 Quest for Tuesday and Wednesday. So it'll just be the Thursday and on stream, which is why I'm streaming tomorrow. But you guys know, 10 a.m. every morning I'm here. Willie, I think we got it next week, right? We're good?
Yep. Yeah, we should be good for the next little bit.
What do you say we switch it up? We switch the community game around and we play some Helldivers.
Oh, are you hooked on some Helldivers? Is that what you're trying to say?
That was a lot of fun. And yeah, I tried to play yesterday by myself. Nope. No good.
Yeah. That's why when I heard you were playing it, I was like, yeah, I got to get in and play with them because, like, honestly,
Yeah.
it's not. I have a few friends that probably my buddy Brian. He's trying to play it like solo. He's having the worst time with it, and I keep telling him like it's a squad-based game. This game is multiplayer. It's not meant to be single player. Like that, you got to play it with people.
Yeah, and I'm glad the first experience I had was with you and Danae and Shadow because I would have been like, okay, I don't get it. Because yeah, you get running. All you end up doing is running. You're just running away because you get trains of you can't possibly take out all the aliens. But we're not stopping 7 Days to Die. We're just gonna switch it up. We're gonna switch it up to Helldivers. So anyone who's a channel member, you want to play Helldivers, get at me. There's only 3 slots, including me would be 4. So we can switch out members throughout the day. I have no problem with that. But Willie and I we're gonna start that next Sunday at 10 a.m. So if you guys want to join, again, let us know. If you want to become a channel member, there are 3 levels, entry level all the way to super pro. Pick whatever you like. Any support for the channel is greatly appreciated. But you guys have yourselves a happy Easter. Are you streaming today?
Yep. I'll be live at 2 o'clock. I don't know what I'm playing. Maybe some No Man's Sky or Enshrouded. One of those two, anyways. We'll see.
Cool. And I'll be live in about 20 minutes with some of the community members playing 7 Days to Die. Thanks a lot, guys. Have yourself a good Easter. We'll see you in the next stream. Cheers.